Family Leonardo, me Nasila did on multimedia, the CEO Voice of Salon. Today I come for talk to now, my family, make una continue to subscribe to our YouTube channel and share to our friends them. As we always try to bring for the latest news what they happen around Salon, whether it be politics or any other news them, what they happen or gossip, what they bring out to live and direct. So please, my family, don't forget to subscribe and share to our friends them. You wanna touch the bell icon so that you don't miss any video we will try for bring out to now. So that's also we want make una don't forget also for subscribe to we TikTok channel on TikTok and also on Facebook or Facebook page or the Voice of Salon or also the on Instagram Voice of Salon, please family. And don't forget to share. Okay, thank you now. Tata.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all both home and the diaspora. Assalamu alaikum ya jamati wal muslimina wal muslimat. Shalom to we Christian brothers and sisters. This is the golden voice of the APC Encyclopedia, the Britannica, the socio-political analyst, the voice of the voiceless, the whistleblower, the lion of the social media, the regional publicity secretary, Southern Region, under the ticket of the mighty, indomitable All People's Congress Party. Fellow Sierra Leoneans, fellow comrades, fellow listeners all over the globe, as you know, say the Encyclopedia Media always embark on civic education for continue for educate, inform, sensitize, conscientize, and raise awareness to we people in Mama Salon on daily happenings and on burning issues. So when I stay tuned, when I stay fixed, when I stay blessed, when I stay connected to the Encyclopedia Media, for our listening pleasure is absolutely guaranteed. Today now Thursday, the 19th of June, 2025. We topics then today we will deliberate on now three topics. Number one, we will talk about betrayal. Number two, we will talk about leadership in the psychological perspective. And number three, we will talk about the shedding of the innocent blood. So now stay tuned to the Encyclopedia Media. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, let me talk about betrayal. According to Luke 17, verse 1 to 25, one day Jesus been teach in disciple them. He tell them what him. He said betrayals are inevitable, but great devastation will come to the one guilty of betraying others. Betrayal in the psychological context. Betrayal na a psychological context where the experience of harm or violation of trust within a relationship or a situation, wherein you expect loyalty, you expect safety, or you expect protection at the end of the day, then water down your expectation. Betrayal often stems from complex emotional and psychological factors. Betrayal means an act or a deliberate disloyalty. When your friend, they tell you secrets to other people, then what a betrayal. So betrayal comes from the Middle English word we then call betraying, meaning for mislead or for deceive. Betrayal therefore do destroying somebody in trust. The first step for acknowledge the situation that the betrayal don't happen, ladies and gentlemen, you for go through the process and accept rather than being in denial. So betrayal now the sense of being harmed by the intentional actions or omissions of a trusted person. The most common form of betrayal, now one, harmful disclosure of confidential information. Number two, na disloyalty. Number three, na infidelity. And number four, na dishonesty. Where do they make somebody for betray other person? It lead to one, na insecurity or jealousy. The feeling of, ladies and gentlemen, inadequacy or jealousy. When they drive somebody for betray others, then they feel overshadowed about your success. then they feel overshadowed about your happiness, where they lead them for acts in wisdom, where them believe say, then go bring you down, or then go bring you apart, or then go above you. Waiting the trigger betrayal, fellow listeners, or waiting they cause betrayal. Betrayal they cause by physical, emotional, verbal, or sexual abuse, neglect, manipulation, and infidelity. But the greatest form of betrayal na gaslighting. This is a serious form of betrayal through manipulation where they cause victim them for caution their reality. Emotional betrayal and physical betrayal na two of the most common form of betrayal. Waiting betrayal they teach we. One of the crucial lessons where you recognize your value as an individual, where you not depend on the action of others, where it is inherently deserving for love, for respect, and for trust. Somebody where they betray in company or a country or a group, an organization, now it's traitor. So when you sell your brother, even your buyer not go ever trust you. Why betrayal so painful? Betrayal they lead to a feeling of shame. It lead to a feeling of self-blame. You go wonder, what you do wrong? This exactly, ladies and gentlemen, now in true of betrayal, where they involve gaslighting and manipulation. We get what we call the emotional roller coaster. If betrayal, they trigger a whirlwind of emotion, anger, sadness, confusion, or even self-loathing, this we call the emotional roller coaster. Betrayal, according to the Bible, one day Jesus been a teach in disciple them. He tell them say, betrayals are inevitable, but great devastation will come to the one guilty of betraying others. It will be better for him to have a heavy boulder tied around his neck and be hauled into the deepest sea than to face the punishment of betraying one of my dear ones. This now according to Luke 17, verse 1 to 25. Waiting a heal betrayal. Betrayal they involve, you they acknowledge the pain, you they forgive, and you they rebuild trust through communication and personal growth. Ego go be a very powerful motivator for betrayal. When a three-letter word, when they destroy big 12-letter words, when a relationship, ladies and gentlemen, fellows, children, and comrades all. So character may betray others for assert dominance, for seek recognition, or simply because they believe say then go get away with it. So Lago from William Shakespeare, inside Othello, he perfectly encapsulates this motivation for betrayal. Joseph, when Anabila Yusuf alayhi salam, he was betrayed by his brothers, but he succeeded to the mission where God sent him for. This is now Genesis 37, verse 12 to 36. Samson was betrayed by Delilah, but both of them crashed together. This is now Judges 16, verse 18. The prophet Jeremiah was betrayed by the one that were close to him. This is now Jeremiah 12, verse 6. Jesus Christ, he knew the pain of betrayal when he was betrayed by one of his disciples, when a Judah Iscariot, we kiss him for identify Christ to his enemies there. So APC Maleka, betrayal not a strange thing. It don't happen for over 1,000 years ago. Focus on your goals, focus on your attention for fight for the electoral justice. If Dr. Samura Kamara a betrayer by in own political party leadership for personalistic and materialistic aggrandizement, so wouldn't you we don't go betray, ladies and gentlemen. So life without opposition, it don't mean nothing. So now we hold the fort. For it we desire destination, and that now the fight for electoral justice for Dr. Samura Kamara for lay reclaim in stolen presidency. For many are called, but few are chosen. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leone and comrades all, both home and the diaspora, you go live without others, and others then back go live without you. Now so God make the world. So what are the saddest truth about betrayal? Betrayal no they ever come from your enemy's thing. Betrayal they come from the one that we trust the most. Waiting betrayal they show. It they show a real life fairy tales where they go horribly wrong. Cautionary tales of deceitful relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, where they betray the lives of others and the one they were involved. So Julius Caesar was betrayed by his best friend when in confidence, when Brutus. Caesar, even though the conspirators had been stabbed to death, he not been feel the stab of the conspirators. But Caesar became hopeless and frustrated and give up when he see his best friend, when in confidence, he can stab her. In last word we utter, he turn and look in friend. He say, "Etu Brute, you again Brutus," in the Shakespearean Julius Caesar. But when Mark Antony came, he crowned it all. He said, "Friends, Roman countrymen, lend me your ears, for I have come to bury Caesar and not to praise him. For the evil that men do lives after them, and the goods are often interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar." So Antonio is an honorable man. So are they all honorable men? Betrayal in a psychological context. Waiting betrayal mean in psychology. Now a sense of being harmed by the intentional action or omission of somebody where you are shot, where you get trust in, where you loyal to, where you friendly to. Now in they betray you. Like your relatives, like your comrades, like your partners there, and like your colleague. So when you rely on somebody for your psychological and emotional needs, like love, protection, and safety, ladies and gentlemen, you can't discover, say, then they do not exist. This white man call them betrayals. And all betrayals then they caused by ego, the desperation for power, money, and worldly materials. Ladies and gentlemen, all centered on ego, grandiosity, and antisocial personality disorder for the desperation of becoming vice president. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not visible, we're not possible for Antikadi of USA. Today, in America, he resided in the enjoy democracy. He set the fire in Sierra Leone. He sit down in America. He watch the slaughter. But the Creole adage says, when he load, na ungrateful boat, he dey go land, na a regret wife. So Antikadi of USA, they use his money, he use his influence abroad for hot people in Sierra Leone, for divide the fight of electoral justice. Today, look at how people then they surprise. How una done this so? Now people them, when they listen to una, they all their hearts don't well. They say because when now they fight for electoral justice, when I don't shape on ourselves, when I don't divide. Now some people then they plan for go join Agenda 2028. All these things are now that cause them. Now Antikadi of USA. Just for the hate we get for one great man. Destroy thousands of people and feelings. Ladies and gentlemen, comrades all both home and the diaspora. In face what he do, na APC Malika he hot or na he frustrate, but he frustrate millions of Sierra Leonean citizens there. We believe in the fight for electoral justice. We believe in unity. Say them people here with them, they don't come together. They all for come together until they win the fight against these stolen elections. But because of power, ambition, because of grandiosity, because of bagbati, because of desperation for power, today look whose side he don't cause. Ladies and gentlemen, people that will be friendly, people that will be there together. He don't can poison their mind there. He don't can divide them today. Today they want to need the talk under, they want to need the talk under. People they don't know again the direction where them for go. Now I make some of who they we stand for the truth and always we stand for the truth. So a betrayer and a traitor. Now somebody where they say one thing and do other. Ladies and gentlemen, they're not reliable. They're not trustworthy. So many women there don't water down the expectation of Sierra Leonean citizens there. We been desperately need a female vice president in the Republic of Sierra Leone. But today would have for trust. See what Sylvia Magomago Blyden do to the All People's Congress Party and the people of Sierra Leone. See what Diana Finda Monebo Konomani do. We expose himself. He show in vilification, in dishonesty, in negative grandiosity, and the antagonistic vendetta we get against Dr. Samura Kamara because they not choose her as a running mate. Ladies and gentlemen, people that don't come, they don't see a woman, they trust her. Give her first time, give her second time. Trust her for let be the mayor of the Freetown municipality. Today we don't amass wealth for himself. Instead of he stand for the people, he stand for electoral justice. Himself say he want to become president. When Mayor Yvonne Akisoya. Ladies and gentlemen, see today how Fatima Jabibio, they behave inside the Sierra Leone People's Party as if the political party and the presidency na property for husband and wife. A man don't be president, instead today, he won't be president for succeed a man. This political drama, not only in Sierra Leone, now it happen. Where we get kakistocracy and kleptocracy, ladies and gentlemen. But my concerns, is very clear why the United States not ready yet for letting get a female president. Hillary Clinton tried, but he failed. Kamala Harris tried, but he failed. Nana, I don't know the reason why the great United States of America not ready yet for a female president. Because they say a toad cannot run in the daytime for nothing. Either the toad they pursue something or something they pursue the toad. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans. So waiting on the best response for a betrayal, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all, both home and the diaspora. So if you acknowledge and accept the betrayal and move on for your life, because life is full of heroism. Because if you keep on comparing yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter for wherever there are lesser and greater person than yourself. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, listen to others, for even the dull and ignorance, they too have their story. This na so did Asidarata say. Ladies and gentlemen, where did they come after betrayal? Now, intense emotional distress. Individuals then they experience various emotions, which include shock, disbelief, anger, sadness, fear, shame, and grief. So the emotional impact could be overwhelming and persistent. So intimacy, they create the risk of betrayal. Bob Marley say, man to man is so unjust. Your best friend could be your secret enemy, and your worst enemy could be your secret friend. Ladies and gentlemen, some will eat and drink with you, then behind it to upon you. Only your friend know your secrets, and only he could reveal it. Some pretend he loved you, but behind you, they try to eliminate you. But who Jah bless, no one calls. Ladies and gentlemen. So who they care fit, let them wear it. Ladies and gentlemen, what a prudent and a wise saying by Bob Nestor Marley. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, a betrayer, ladies and gentlemen, somebody will betray, a very selfish, egotistical, egocentric, a narcissistic, a self-centered, a pompous, a grandiose, evil-minded, and disgusting with greed and the insatiable greed for power. The only person way more dangerous and hard for deal with more than a betrayer, na a henpecked husband. While betrayal today is common in we local body politics and all the political parties there na mama salon. We listeners think you want know whether na a henpecked husband, na a married man, when na wife na in the ruler. A man where somebody they call a henpecked husband, he get a woman where always they tell her waiting for do and waiting for do. It take to run 2 weeks for disgrace am. Ladies and gentlemen, brown beaten, bullied or intimidated. The wife now they dictate to the husband, waiting for do, whose action wait for take. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, so a man will constantly control and criticize by his wife, Englishman they call her a henpecked husband. This is the disaster and the calamity where God bring to we, na mama salon. Through the political, regional, and tribalistic setting of the SLPP Pauper State Looters political party, where they can give a president being ruled by his wife. This is the reason why always when they see poor decision making, ladies and gentlemen, the woman now they act as the president, while the husband they act as a so-called president. May Allah save Mama Salon. Ladies and gentlemen, the wife now in the show would have for be appointed as a minister, as an ambassador, would have for sack, would have for put, would have for do this. Ladies and gentlemen, the SLPP political party, when they formed on Friday, 27th April 1951, the oldest party in Sierra Leone, does stoop so low. Ladies and gentlemen, today they are controlled by a woman, fellow Sierra Leoneans. The powerful women's wing of the SLPP today don't become a puppet in the streets. The SLPP Elders Council and the Advisory Council don't become a toothless bulldog. The SLPP now controlled in the other world kingdom by a woman. But very soon, SLPP will regret the action and inaction. From Rebecca Stephen to Hannah Momo to Patricia Kabar to Madam Sienyama Koroma, we know one day get a first lady. We get this character. This is not the first time in the political history of Sierra Leone. Forget a first lady where they overshadow the presidency, where they overshadow the political party and the country as a whole. A Madinka woman now set this political president. So husband there will not be careful whether for married. Samson is strong, but was defeated by the power of a woman. Solomon be wise, but he not able to find the secret of a woman. When you love, ladies and gentlemen, you for love, but don't be consumed with love. This is about giving love without sacrificing one's own well-being or identity. You for maintain a sense of self. You get personal boundaries and individuality. You for recognize red flags. Love for be enhance your life, not for define your life. Not lose your own voice. Express your thoughts and feelings then. Don't be naive. Maintain your sense of self and be mindful. Being consumed by love, they sometimes make unhealthy relationship dynamics, short as possessiveness, jealousy, or emotional manipulations. Now we see today, Mama Salon, ladies and gentlemen. We come to the other topic, ladies and gentlemen. We now Every leaders should be students of psychology. Successful leaders they're often credited for get high social intelligence, the ability for embrace change, inner resources, shorter self-awareness, and self-mastery. And above all, now the capacity for focus on the things where truly they merit your attention. Then desirable skills here for everybody else. Leadership now the capacity for translate a vision into reality. Sell Warren Bennis, a pioneer in leadership research. And in generally, a leader now the responsibility for develop a mission for the people and institutions the way you direct. You also need for communicate them priority to others there and inspire them for commit to them goals then they as well. So leadership not only depend on one entitled, but leadership they emerge at any level. If they able motivate the one then where then they collaborate for strive towards a common goal. The qualities of great leaders then. Effective leaders then, they likely for share some key personality traits then. We include sociability, we include ambition and curiosity, and then traits they are the more relevant to the role than intelligence. Genetics they appear for influence leadership ability due to inherited personality traits, but the environment factors such as education and opportunity they play a significant role as well in leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, they ask if leaders then they born them or then they make them. Richard and other estimates say leadership it is about a third born and a two-third made. Some inborn traits there, such as empathy, extraversion, assertiveness, and a social intelligence, now important elements then of leadership. But training, self-development, and experience, at least, they're very important in leadership. How good leaders then they inspire others. Leaders then for focus on the tasks and strengthen their strategies then. And not to only the tasks and the strategies there alone, they also for pay attention to relationship and morale. One of the best way for do now for foster a culture of gratitude, for praise and thank you colleague them for the work whether they do and for the ideas then whether they contribute to leadership. They ask if narcissists then they succeed as leaders. The high profile status of leadership they attract many individuals then where they score high in the personality traits of narcissism. In position of leadership, narcissists then they display charisma and even in the rally to colleagues them for perform in a crisis, but a sense of entitlement, resistant to criticism, striving for glory, and lack of empathy, they often lead them to failure for build a successful organization. So leaders there with narcissistic personality disorder and antisocial personality disorder, they know they ever succeed. Leaders the way they succeed, now leaders then we get what we call servant leadership, motivational leadership, and empathetic leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the last topic, ladies and gentlemen. We talk about the shedding of innocent blood. The shedding of innocent blood is listed as one of the abominations there to God. The phrase when a shedding of innocent blood a reference in several verses there na the Holy Bible, most notably na in Proverbs 6 verse 16 to 17. And according to the King James Version of the Bible, God hates 7 abomination things there. One amongst them and 3 among them. God hates a proud look. God hates a lying tongue. And God hates hands there where they shed innocent blood. Ladies and gentlemen, and other verses there again, Now Deuteronomy 27 verse 25. Ladies and gentlemen, this verse, it calls anybody when they take a bribe for shed innocent blood. He emphasized the seriousness of the act. In Isaiah 59 verse 7, this verse they describe a society whereby people then quick for shed innocent blood, with them path leading to violence and destruction. While in Joel 3 verse 21, this verse they speak of God in vengeance for the shedding of innocent blood, stating, say, he no go leave anybody where he shed innocent blood unavenged. Numbers 35 verse 33, this verse they discuss the defilement of the law, or the defilement of the land by bloodshed, and the need for expiation through the blood of the one day within the shed. Expiation is an act of atonement for a sin or wrongdoing, for strip them off, or for plunder them or pillage them in that land day. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades, all both home and the diaspora, according to Psalm 106 verse 38, this verse they condemn the Israelites then for sacrifice their own pikin them as an act of shedding innocent blood. Whenever SLPP can have power or they in governance, when they see hunger in the country, when they see poverty, when they see starvation, when they see suffocation, when they see joblessness, when they see hopelessness, when they see disasters, when they see calamities, when they see economic hardship, when they see inflation, when they see stagflation, when they see sickness system, when they see economic hardship, when they see the skyrocketing of the basic commodities and then on the market, when they see youth and they exposed to drug intake, women and they indulge in commercial prostitution, brother they fight brother, wife they fight the husband, pikin they forsake them parents them, when they see gruesome road accidents them, when they see victimization, when they see marginalization, when they see endemic and systemic corruption at the country, when they see drug trafficking, when they see human trafficking, when they see child trafficking, when they see rampant rape cases there, when they see police brutality, when they see military high-handedness, when they see lawlessness, recklessness, adultery, fornication, and all immoral acts there. Why this they happen now we learn? Because whenever SLPP can have power, then they shed innocent blood. And God not happy with anything in the where they happen na the land. And shedding innocent blood na an abomination to God. In any land where they shed innocent blood, that country they God they curse the leaders and we did it. And the leaders and they not go ever succeed. And God they avenge for the innocent blood in any land where they set and curse the leaders they. For short, a murderous, a demonic, a satanic, ungodly, barbaric, cannibalistic, and immoral act. So LCPP, ladies and gentlemen, now nothing but now a punishment to the nation. So we say kudos to the president-elect, Dr. Samura Kamara, will stop innocent blood, the shedding of innocent blood in this country. People then they call her, they say na a coward. People then they call her, they say na a technocrat, not a politician. They may want like all innocent citizens there. Then cannot sweet, then massacre them, then continue for said another innocent blood. Now I make him say, him, they shed no innocent blood for sake of him power. He could use the pen, and the pen is mightier than the sword. Thank God, Dr. Samura Kamara will save thousands of innocent lives there for they don't